Festival. Willie Mullins for owner Luke McMahon. David Mullins on board, and this, Tom Lee, is a fascinating market.
Well, if there is to be some sort of immediate redemption for Paul Townend, what an opportunity, because in this Real Steel, also one bookmaker put up at 11-4 last night. He's been touching as short as 6-4, 7-4 here on the track. On the exchanges right now, a little bit easier than that, out to 9-4. But what you don't sense, interestingly, is any great wave of confidence behind this Mengley Khan. 3 from 3 for the season, emphatic in the Royal Bond, and yet one firm went 8-11 odds on last night, and yet on the exchanges right now he's 11-8 against. Interestingly, Sharjah, another one of the Mullins runners, alongside Real Steel, 2 from 2 for the season, both at Goren Park, shows up around about 8-1. But the horse attracting money is the Green and Gold Silks, JP McManus, Le Richebourg for Joseph O'Brien. He was only 6th in the Royal Bond, way behind Mengley Khan, but he'd won 3 starts prior to that. He'd had a break, and Joseph O'Brien saying he just needed that to sharpen him up. Better expected today, 20-1 into 10-1, Le Richebourg for the upset. He's the mover.
Okay, thanks very much, lads. Yeah, we're looking forward to this one. Just how good is Mengley Khan? I think we're about to find out. 17 hands we hear. Big boy, raced as a 2-year-old as well, which is hard to believe, Ruby, but certainly we're looking forward to this one. The money, though, is coming for Real Steel, for Willie and for Paul. Interesting to see how those two get on at the head of the market.
Yeah, obviously Mengley Khan was very good in the Royal Bond. He kept galloping well, but he had all the experience and the fitness that day. I think the Richebourg will have improved a hell of a lot for that run. Real Steel comes here off winning the race in Thurles, and Sharjah has won twice in Goren Park. I think they're the main protagonists, whatever way you look at it.
Just on Jack Kennedy, I mean, he's on, obviously Mengley Khan, he's had a tough day yesterday. He had to be stood down from the last race, and he had a fall as well today.
He's okay though.
He's all right,
okay,
yeah. Okay,
it's perfect, yeah.
So actually, we were just looking there, I wasn't sure, but yeah, Jack is fine. He landed on his back, probably a bit windy, but he'd be grand. But Mengley Khan, I don't know, there was just I was standing in the stand watching the Ferry House, and there was something about it that just didn't blow me away.
Okay.
I thought
a little bit of labour coming up the hull?
I thought Jack gave him a very good ride, and when he jumped the second last, early doors, his inside made a mistake, and Jack, when he went by, closed the door, made Mark Walsh switch, and rode the Mengley Khan to the last, and needed the jump to win. I thought with his experience and the way he'd won in Navan, he would have done it a bit easier than he did do it. So I think the other horses will be improving from the runs and catching up with him. I think Mengley Khan has to keep improving, and I don't see where the improvement is going to come from. Okay, connections of Simply Ned, 10 years of age, taking our first race here, obviously after the steward's inquiry and reversing the original placing, so congratulations to everyone involved there. And look, okay, Mengley Khan, would you agree with Ruby that he just didn't quite blow? He's 7-1 for the Supreme now, Ted, on the back of that win.
I was impressed enough with him. I thought he did it well. Difference of opinion, I thought he did it well. I liked the way he won at Navan. It was a better race at Naas or at Ferry House. I thought he did it well. I was impressed with Real Steel as well, below in Thurles. But I think they'll all want up their game to beat Mengley Khan again here. I don't think Mengley Khan now will win at Cheltenham as much as 7-1 shot, but I think he'll win here today.
This is what he did at Ferry House last time out, Ruby. Just tell us what you're seeing here.
Just so you see on the inside mark and the second JP McManus colours, early doors misses this hurdle, makes a mistake. It's just a bit slow, like when Jack goes by, and watch how Jack mosey's over onto the rail and closes the door on Mark Walsh as he goes by him, which is good race riding, but he had to do that. He couldn't have left the door open for Mark going to the last because he didn't have enough horse. See the way he's tightened him up and made sure of it, and goes and jumps the last really well. Again, early doors misses it. I think Jack had to do everything right to win, and early doors is quite an inexperienced horse. I thought with Mengley Khan's experience and the way he won in Navan, he should have been doing that.
And what do you think will beat him?
I think the Richebourg will turn inside out for the run. I thought he looked quite heavy in the ring in Ferry House that day. I thought he'd be a lot straighter and a good bit fitter. I think Real Steel could be anything. He's an improving horse who could have a huge future, and Sharjah's done nothing wrong. It's not what I fancy. I'm not mad gone at Mengley Khan.
Okay, listen, let's go down to Sally Ann Grassick. She's with Nicky Richards, of course, trainer of Simply Ned in the last race.
Yeah, joined now by Nicky Richards. Nicky, we were just saying how much Simply Ned loves it here at Leopardstown.
Yeah, he's run 4 cracking races, so he saved the best of the last anyway.
And it was a tense few minutes. I saw you just when the horses were still walking around before the steward's inquiry. Did you really think that you were going to get it?
Well, you'd be half hoping he was going to get it. It looked fairly clear cut, and most of the local boys here were fairly adamant he was going to get it, but until it's announced, you still don't want to be, it was great when it was announced anyway.
Yeah, there was a great cheer went up around the parade ring here as well. What can we expect from Simply Ned next after that amazing performance?
Yeah, well, he might come back here. As the years gone by, his first 3 or 4 runs have usually been his best, you know, so hopefully we'll get one more good one out of him this year anyway.
Oh, we've enjoyed watching him. Well done, Nicky. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Nicky Richards there with Salian Grasic. All right, it's the Paddy Power Future Champions Novices Hurdle Grade 1 contest, and number 1 is Hardline for Gordon Elliott. Davy Russell on board, won 2 of his last 4 starts. He was 3rd last time out at Ferryhouse, though, behind Mengley Can in early doors, so he's going to need to improve on that to feature here in a race with a lot more quality, you have to say.
Yeah, Leopardstown was at number 2, should be appearing in shot now in a second.
Looks well. I saw him going around the ring there. There he is. Good coat on him, good skin on him. But I tell you one thing, if you're down to looking at Mengley Can, he looks $1 million as well. It's a cold, bloody day, but he's blooming there. This horse looks well also.
No butter this morning, not warm today, no?
I had butter this morning, warm enough. Warmer than 2 a year on here.
Spreadable stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Leopardstown for Joseph O'Brien.
3
Barry on
is
board.
Macatorix. I won a maiden hurl on him in the stall. Was very disappointed in the Royal Bond. Has to leave that behind him. Should do. He works like a fair horse at home for whatever happened to him the last day.
Okay, well, the trainer of Mengley Can is Gordon Elliott, of course. He's down with Salian Grasic.
Yeah, Gordon, just looking at Mengley Can going around the parade ring, he's not your typical flat horse coming to the over jumps.
Yeah, he's massive, Salian, you know, a big horse. He's a nice horse, he's done everything right so far this year, but this is his biggest test so far, you know. Joseph horse could be a different horse in this ground, and Willie's got 4 in it, so it's not going to be easy.
He was very impressive last time out, and you also have Hardline, who was 3rd that day.
Yeah, this is Hardline, you'd imagine it probably struggled to beat him, but I'd be worried more about a couple of others, to be honest.
Okay, best of luck, thanks.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's Gordon Elliott there. Almost set to go for Mengley Can, who we hear will be better on the better ground, and there he is there. That's what he did say last time to me, that he expects Mengley Can. It was a bit choppy up in Ferryhouse the last day. He expects it to be better on this ground.
Does he, yeah?
He sure does.
I still think he'll get beat.
11 to 10 favourite.
I'll probably be wrong, Hugh. 5 is Real Steel. Came from France, owned by Sullivan Bloodstock. Bolted in on his first run for Willie Mullins in Thurles. Has to step up on that to beat Mengley Can. All the money's for Mengley Can. Real Steel is back out to 94.
Horse number 6.
Yeah, this fella, Ruby.
Sharjah, yeah, won twice in Gorham Park, and has done it well on both occasions. He's a better horse at the racecourse than he is at home, and that's the way you like horses. 8 to 1's a bit of value. Unfortunately, only 7 runners, so it's not the each way first 3, but he'll run really well. Paul had a fair choice to pick now. Him, for me anyway, him or Real Steel. Yeah.
And horse number 7 is Whiskey Sour for Willie. Obviously the 4th of Willie Mullins here. Hasn't won since August in Galway. Won a flat race, a handicap over 1 mile and 4 there. You rode him to a maiden in Tramore.
Yeah, look, he's only had 3 runs since Willie got him. He's won the 3 of them, but they were summer races. This is a much different race in this time of the year, and I think
I'd say he could be looking at next year's Galway Hurl winner.
Really, you think so?
I do.
What about, would you have gone for Real Steel in this, by the way, if you had to pick?
I hadn't ridden them work. I'd be going for the experience. I made a mistake last year. I rode Riven Light instead of Saturnus. I went for the horse who was working better, like Real Steel maybe than Sharjah, but he didn't have the experience and he got caught out, so that would be playing in the back of your mind as well. I didn't really think about it, Hugh, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
I didn't have to make the decision, so I didn't really.
Boyle Sports on.
Yes, down here at the start for this race coming up, and the horse is just cantering beside me here. But we've just seen Mengley Can go down. If you see behind me there, just having a look at that hurdle there. Not overly big, Mengley Can, but he came down really, really well, and everybody seems relaxed and pretty laid back about the whole thing. You can just see there's number 3 there in the front. And Mengley Can just there, number 4. Very relaxed, no problems, looking ahead to a great race.
Yeah, thanks Tracy for that. Almost set to go, and final thoughts for the lads. I mean, look, Mengley Can, the money is coming here. If I had to twist your arm, you'd be on Real Steel, Ruby?
Possibly, yeah. I think the Leopardstown is probably the value, but I would probably have been on Real Steel. I think. Yeah. I'll tell you after the ratio. I'd be on the 1 to 1.
All right, Ted, who do you fancy in this?
I think Mengley Can will win, Hugh.
Yeah.
I think he'll win. I think he's plenty of experience. He's had a couple of runs last year. He jumps well, travels well. He looks $1 million in the ring, and I think he'll win.
Okay, all right, let's go down to the betting ring. Let's see where the support is coming for.
Mengley Can generally an even money shot in the ring, although you can get 11 to 10 if you shop around Mengley Can. Real Steel is generally drifting in the last 5 minutes, out to 3-1 now. Real Steel having opened up on track at 2-1, so he's now possibly the longest price he's been in a number of hours. Real Steel. Sharjah 8-1, and the double figure prices about Leopardstown are gone.
Yes, indeed. Exchange positives late on 247. Certainly Leopardstown snapped in half 20 into 10. Some shrewd judges late on mentioning Whiskey Sour. This obvious late support for Mengli Khan, and the Drifter. Be concerned if you took the shorter prices about Real Steel, because he is now friendless in the market, out to 11-4, both in the ring and on the betting exchanges.
Richard Pugh, it's all yours.
It is indeed. Thank you very much, Brian. They're all set to go for the Paddy Power Future Champions Novice Hurdle. I'm not sure a race ever had a more appropriate name as the Paddy Power Future Champions. In 2008, Hurricane Fly. 2012, the subsequent champion hurdler Jeski won it, and in 2014 the subsequent Gold Cup winner Sizing John, a winner of this race. Have we a future champion amongst the 7 here? You can see exactly where Ruby is coming from. 4 of them turned up in the Royal Bond. Mengli Khan beat the other 3 that were there. You're looking for something to beat him. He didn't look wildly impressive in what he did. It's a hard thing to say about a Grade 1 winner, but he looks a little bit vulnerable. But you're waiting to see one of these to burst through. Let it be Real Steel, Whiskey Sour, or any of them, to just go and test the mettle of the big horse, which is of course Mengli Khan. They're walking steadily towards the starter, who checks his watch. For me, it's gone past the start time, so when they get their way towards the position where he's happy to pull the trigger, they'll be ready to go. Sharjah just off to the left of your picture, the mount of Patrick Mullins. Looks as though Hardline might go on. Davy Russell aboard this one. White flag man is about to raise it to subsequently drop it, and they're within about 10 yards of the start. Surely got to let them go at this stage. And that's it. We're racing for the Paddy Power Future Champions Novice Hurdle Grade 1 contest, and as they make the short run on towards flight number 1, which thankfully we're jumping in this contest, is Makita who's towards the inside. Over on the near side is Hardline. They're going to take them along. Mengli Khan is racing in a close third on the outside of Real Steel as the leaders take them out over the first. Leopardstown is just towards the outside of Mengli Khan. They're being followed by Sharjah, and the back marker is Whiskey Sour. So now they make their way up to past the post and on towards flights 2 and 3, and it's Hardline and Davy Russell who take them along. From Makita is racing in second. Third is Mengli Khan, who had both of those ahead behind them when they met last time in the Royal Bond. Real Steel is down the inside, being followed by Leopardstown. Then Sharjah. There's already a gap opening up of 3 to 4 lengths to the back marker, which is Whiskey Sour, heading now to make their way towards flight number 2. Hardline leads them over. Mengli Khan towards the outside, and the inside Makita. They're being followed back and forth by Leopardstown. Sharjah's next. Real Steel tucked in down the inside, and this break remains to the back marker of Whiskey Sour. They're going now to make their way towards flight 3. Hardline going to lead them over from in second. Slight mistake there, flattening the flight. Mengli Khan. Makita is towards this one's inside. Real Steel tucked in on the inside of Sharjah. Leopardstown is a little wider out as they take the bend that brings them along into the back straight, and the break of 3 to 4 to Whiskey Sour. So now they make their way into the back straight and towards the line of 3 flights, and it's Hardline who has the advantage to in second spot. Mengli Khan, the Royal Bond winner, being followed on the inside by Makita. Disappointed, pulled up last time in the Royal Bond, and they're being followed on the outside by Leopardstown, who was well behind last time, but a winner of his previous 3 starts over hurdles. They're being followed as they continue down along the back straight by Sharjah, who's right there in the centre. They're getting away from Real Steel at this early stage. The gap opening up by about 5 or 6 lengths or so, and Whiskey Sour the back marker. First of 3 flights coming up along the back now, and it's Hardline on the inside of Mengli Khan. They take it together. Leopardstown's right on terms, and this trio are a couple in front of Sharjah. Makita is next. The break continues to widen a little back to Real Steel and Whiskey Sour. Now they go towards the flight across from the stands, continuing midway along the back straight, and Mengli Khan has gone to the front plenty early here from Hardline on the inside of Leopardstown, and they're being followed by Sharjah, who's next. Makita just landed awkwardly over that one. Real Steel is closing up the gap now a little bit, and the gap remains to Whiskey Sour. So they continue right down now towards the end of the back straight. They make their way towards the third last flight, and as they do so, it is Mengli Khan from Leopardstown is going in pursuit, and a little awkward, the leader there surrenders some of the advantage. Sharjah closes it up on the inside. They're being chased by Real Steel, who, having just dropped off them a little bit, is getting right back into contention and goes 4. Hardline, the early leader, is dropping back, and Whiskey Sour is getting a little closer as well, and the back marker now dropping out is Makita. So now they make their way towards the bottom bend, bringing them across. Good run before they meet the second last. Mengli Khan Khan from Laurishberg. Then towards the inside is Sharjah, getting closer all the time as Real Steel. They're being followed by Hardline. Whiskey Sour's creeping his way into contention as well as they race across the bottom now, heading to make their way towards the second last. Mengli Khan from Laurishberg. Real Steel goes third now. Sharjah's on the inside. Whiskey Sour's much closer. He's gone out through the wing. Mengli Khan tucked to his left. He went out through the wing and he's out of the race. We won't get to find out, but we have Nest in front. Real Steel from Laurishberg in second. Sharjah's picking up. Whiskey Sour's behind them and they're being followed by Hardline. All change and all blown apart as they turn towards home, and it's Real Steel, but Sharjah looks a big danger over on the near side. Back in third is Whiskey Sour and they're being followed by Laurishberg, and it's Real Steel, but Sharjah travels up very strongly on the near side under Patrick Mullins. Real Steel's hard at work coming towards the final flight and the future champions, and it's Sharjah who's going to possibly just land in front. He lands so good, he's gone. The Bronx gone. You've never seen the like of it, and it's Whiskey Sour who's left in front from Laurishberg in second, Hardline in third as they head up towards the line. You've never seen anything like it. We lost the favourite at the second last, the front pair at the last, and Whiskey Sour, we've seen him at RT Racing before. He seems to like it. He's gone and taken the Paddy Power future champions. Laurishberg is second. Back in third is Hardline, Hugh, Ted and Ruby. We have about 35 minutes to the Paddy Power. It will take you all of that time to review what we've just seen in that hurdle race.
Yeah, Richard, I'd have written Whiskey Sour. There's Paul, I think he's alright. I don't know.
That's incredible.
I don't know. I mean, what Mengli Khan did, and then the other two are in. Dave Mullins is delighted with himself. It was he the hard luck yesterday. Al Boone fell at the last in thing. Here's Mengli Khan. Now, whatever about Willie's two falling, I'd hate what this horse did in front.
Oh yeah.
This is what a bad pony does.
It's a bad streak in this fella here now.
He shouldn't. Like the easiest thing, the smallest thing to jump now is the hurdle. Right, this is the smallest thing is already gets there. Watch, look, the wing is twice the size of the hurdle. He goes jump the wing.
He's a dirty rotten sod. That's what he is now.
You wouldn't like that. That leaves Real Steel in front. The Sharjah's coming to beat him. Laurishberg's had to get a bit tired. They went a ferocious gallop, Macatorix and Hardline, and Whiskey Sour's tracking away behind them. To me, it looked like Patrick was only waiting to pick Paul up.
Patrick is travelling
down to the last.
Whiskey Sour is going to be third. Patrick hasn't even gone for him, and he jumps the last really well and knuckles over. He doesn't bring the other horse down, does he?
No, he does.
Tubin fell.
Probably still my fault, isn't it? Here they go. Look,
put the bad eyes on him. Watch here. 1, 2.
No, Tubin fell.
Full separately.
And how lucky was David? David went the other side of him. It's alright, Patrick, hit the ground. They've done that. That's been me before. But this horse goes and wins. A fortuitous winner. I mean, tell you one thing, come racing, it's all happening in Leopardstown today.
Alright, look, we spoke about the first race today and them having to bypass the first hurdle there. Is there anything to do with the sun at all there? It's gone.
It's back here. Off over to your right. I don't know why. But look at Mengli Khan.
Look at Mengli Khan. Look at
the smallest thing to jump is the hurl. And what's he do?
Why did he do that, Ted?
He's a dirty, rotten sod. That's what he's done.
He's not 7-1 favourite in Supreme anymore.
I'll tell you one thing or two things. I hate a horse that does that. It's like an old bad pony doing it at home, ducking out to the wing and you blaming the child.
Sharjah spot on. Go on, Patrick. 1, 2.
Entry. They don't know where the big fences in entry.
David Mullins there. Was that deliberate to go on the inside rail there? Or
no choice. No choice. He was tracking the race. He's already got the open.
You saw it yesterday. David goes to the last and album photo. It's all over and he turns over. Today, if he's 3 feet to the right, he's all over Sharjah and Real Steel and he's in a heap with them. He's not. He's lucky. He's on the inside and gets through.
That can happen.
If you're backing and running there, I mean, Sharjah, people would have been. He was travelling so well at the last, and then.
Well, if you're backing and running, you'd have backed Mengli Khan go down to the second last. He goes out to the wing, and then you'd have to save yourself on Sharjah, and he turns over. Talk about excitement.
Well, the first 2 races since we've come on air, between the reversal of the steward's inquiry with Min losing out, and then horses dropping like flies there, and amazing result really for Whiskey Sour. And
the great thing though about it, Hugh, is that the lads all walked away safe and sound.
Okay, well look, we need to get the thoughts of Willie Mullins here, because obviously a lot of different emotions in that race. He's with Tracy.
I don't think Willie can believe it. I never seen anything like it, Willie. Have you?
I've never seen anything like it, from losing the other race with Stuart Froome, then Mengli Khan jumping out at the second last and thinking that, well, at least the two were going to be first, second and third going to that, and the two of them fall individually. It was extraordinary stuff. I was just waiting for them to bring down our third runner, which would have really capped the day, but it just shows you've got to be in a race, and Whiskey Sour was, he was definitely the fourth of ours, I think, coming into the race, and he ends up winning it.
You couldn't take your eyes off it for a second, because something else was going to happen.
But, it was just an extraordinary race.
Yeah. As you say, after what happened in the last race, this kind of goes towards a bit making up.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't sally out on that note.
Well, what happened, what happened, and that was it. So, it was great to get a winner on the day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you.
Here's Sally Ann.
Yeah, joined by David Mullins. David, coming to the last, did you think you were going to win that?
Well, I suppose I was only coming to it when they were on the floor, so I suppose I thought I had a little chance, all right, as long as I didn't get brought down. But yeah, just very lucky. Out of luck yesterday, and could have fallen the first today. So it's just amazing the way it can turn so quickly. You never know what's around the corner.
Swings and roundabouts in this sport. But asking Patrick Mullins, I was just asking him, was it the sun? Did you think the sun was a problem coming to the last?
No, the two horses that were lying on the floor, the back of it, were my problem. But fortunately enough, he's only tiny, this little lad, so he's well able to get in and out of them.
It's a good boost for you after yesterday. So well done, David.
Thanks, cheers.
Well, go on, you.
Yeah, amazing stuff, really. And Dave Mullins happy with his lot there. I mean, look, as you say, sometimes the luck is with you and sometimes it's against you.
Well, the man will be delighted. Here's Luke McMahon. There's no better support to the game. He had a great Galway, and here he is having a winner here as well. His son rode him, Aubrey rode him when he won the big amateur race in Galway. You rode him in a trios. We'll have a look at Luke in a minute now.
Jeremy, who's a good stallion, stood in the national stud, who was by Sadler as well, or by Daniel Dancer of a Sadler as well as a mare. How often does Sadler as well as crop up in these jumping pedigrees? But look, Eddie Lynham trained him as a 2-year-old and 3-year-old. He came to Willie's, and he's 4 from 4 now. But Jeremy, our sire of our Connor, he was a good stallion.
He was a great stallion, a big loss to the Hickey family, and he's got a lot of good jumpers on the ground. They leapt well anyway, that's for sure. There we have Aubrey, just the far side of David Mullins there, who rode him at Galway when he won, and I'm sure Luke is in there as well too. I don't know whether Liz is there or not. She might not be. She might be at home. If you're at home, Liz, well done.
That'd be Sue, yeah.
Okay, let's go down for a confirmation of the result then, and Brian.
Sue. Yeah, that's what I said. I was always I call her Liz in Galway, so I keep calling her Liz now. Sue.
The glorious uncertainty of jump racing is why we love the sport so much. There is always a surprise around the corner, and Whiskey Sour has retained his unbeaten record. The Tramore Maiden Hurdle winner in June wins the Paddy Power Future Champions by 19 lengths at 9-1. Whiskey Sour beating Larichburg 8-1, and third was Hardline Mingley Khan running out at the second last, and then Real Steel, of course, and Sharjah both falling independently at the final flight. 9-1 Whiskey Sour.
Thanks very much, Brian. Spare thought for Jack Kennedy as well. I'm sure he could not have imagined when he went to sleep on Christmas night that the 2 days were gone as they have done now. He's back up as well, and hopefully he's okay to continue across the rest of the afternoon. We're going to take a very quick break though. We've got competition details as well coming up after these.